So making a second video about Jake Paul on this channel is not something I predicted, but here we are, so let's get into it. Now, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, little brother of Tyson Fury, are scheduled to fight August 6th, I believe the date is. And so I wanted to break down this fight. They were supposed to fight a little while back, but Tommy had to pull out due to reasons. I think he got hurt or sick, something of that effect during the camp. And that's when we got Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley 2. Now, this fight is the fight that a lot of people have been asking for. Jake Paul fight a real boxer. Tommy Fury appears to be a real boxer. He has a boxing background. His family has boxing history. Like I said, his older brother Tyson Fury. But that said, up until the whole commotion about Jake Paul fighting Tommy Fury, I never knew Tommy Fury existed. And I want to do a little bit of a deep dive and see who was Tommy Fury. What experience does he have? Now, I don't want to feel like I'm raising the goalposts on Jake Paul, because I feel like a lot of people will end up trying to do that. A lot of people discredit him for fighting Nate Robinson. Justifiably, though. That fight made no sense. Ben Askren, I see the angle there, but again, we already knew the outcome there. Tyron Woodley, though, that was actually pretty decent. I see it's still a safe fight, but at that danger element just ever so slightly. And now he's fighting what appears to be a real boxer. And again, I don't want to discredit Jake Paul. Regardless, he's in the ring, he's fighting. Sure, he's cherry picking his opponents. Very smart. Very safe about how he's doing it. But is this one going to be too much? Let's look in the background of Tommy Fury and see what he's bringing to the table. So, in my deep dive, I couldn't find any amateur record on Tommy Fury, which isn't the most uncommon thing. Sometimes BoxRec will show amateur and pro. Sometimes they won't. It's not to say they didn't have an amateur record. I'm just having a hard time finding any evidence on it. But besides that, I have found a statement from Tommy Fury himself saying he's only had 12 amateur fights. He's gone to the nationals, to the finals, won the regionals twice. That's coming from Tommy Fury himself. We have no evidence of it, so we pretty much at this point have to take him on his word. 12 amateur fights, nothing crazy, but it's a lot more fights already than Jake Paul has amateur and pro. So there's that. We don't know the level of competition these amateur fights were. We don't know the record of these amateur fights. We don't know how many he's won, how many he's lost. We really don't know. He's had 12 amateur fights. But if we go over to BoxRec and look at his professional career, he's undefeated with 8 wins, 4 of which come of way of knockout. But interesting thing about BoxRec, we can actually see his opponents here. If we scroll down here, let's start at the very beginning. 2018. I'm not even going to begin to pronounce this guy's name, but the guy had 10 wins, 102 losses, and 3 draws. Tommy's first ever pro fight was against a guy who had 102 losses. Okay? His second fight, the guy had 0 wins, 26 losses, 2 draws. Third fight, 2 wins, 26 losses. Next fight, 0 wins, 11 losses. Next fight, 0 wins, 9 losses. Next fight, 2 wins, 0 losses. Next fight, 0 wins, 1 loss. And then 10 wins, 1 loss. And this is scheduled to happen August 6th, like I said. Jake Paul. So what does this mean? Why do I bring this up? Pretty much, Tommy Fury is the epitome of a padded record. He's fighting guys who are pretty much bums, who have a shit ton of losses. He only had the one who with 10 wins and 1 loss. That was credible, but also that guy could have a padded record as well. I don't think Tommy's has ever had a tough fight, to be honest. I don't think he's ever been pushed. But I do think this is a perfect matchup between these two. They're both, Jake Paul, not very experienced, but he has some natural technique, and the guy does have power. Give credit where credit is due. Jake Paul has power. You may not like him, but he has knockout power. His technique is still in development, though, which, he's still relatively new to the sport. Tommy Fury has more technique, but to be honest, I'm not impressed with Tommy Fury. He doesn't impress me. There's no it factor there. He's no Tyson Fury. He's not his brother by a long shot. Let's throw that out of the way. Just because he has the last name does not mean he's really like Tyson at all. He's not even trained with the same people. Why? Which I'm confused about that. Why not get Sugar Hill in? This is the biggest fight in Tommy's career. Why not use Tyson's team to help Tommy develop himself? Because I feel like Tommy has more to lose here than Jake does. So if Jake wins, everybody's going to talk about how he beat the boxer. He overcame the challenge that was a real boxer that everybody's been complaining that he needs to fight. On the other side, Tommy would be the guy they say lost to Jake Paul. He's the boxer that lost to Jake Paul. And if he does win, they might congratulate him for beating Jake Paul, to shutting him up. But okay, move on. Fight somebody real. Fight a real competitor. Because your padded record, your undefeated record, doesn't mean a lot. It doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean nothing at all. I just want to put that out there. I wanted to show everybody, Tommy's background. It's not as impressive as some might think. He's not, he is a boxer. He does have the boxing background, but he's not this, measuring tape. It's not like Jake is fighting like this overwhelming, skilled boxer, right? He's fighting somebody he's close to his level. Still, props where props is due. If Jake does beat Tommy, this is a good step into his career. In the grand scheme of things, he's fighting someone relatively close to his level. With all that said, who do I think is going to win this fight? Well, I would say probably 80% on Tommy's side, 20% on Jake's side, because, Tommy has more technique. He has a little bit more experience, but Tommy actually gets caught a lot by big right hands. If you watch a couple of his fights, you see he's always crowding himself. He's always getting in close to where he doesn't fight well and getting hit with hard right shots. And what is Jake Paul known for knocking people down with? The right hand, the right hook. And he has the power to knock somebody out. So if Tommy does that, if he comes in reckless, if he comes in smothering himself, and he always never protects himself from that right hand, he could get put down. But if he fights a smart fight, like he should, a more experienced boxer should, he should win this. I say 80% Tommy, 20% Jake Paul. That's my prediction on this fight. Who knows? Who knows? Like I said, it could go either way. If Tommy's smart, if he's reckless, it's all on Tommy if he loses this. If he wins, it's Tommy. If he loses, it's Tommy. It's all his fault. I'm just going to say that. So that's my 2 cents on this fight. I don't know if I want to talk about Jake Paul again on this channel. But, hey, if the news is there, it's there. So, also, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see reviews, boxing discussion, or just anything boxing. That's what we do here on this channel. So thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'll see ya.